Don't give up and don't give in. Although it seems you never win, you will always pass the test as long as you keep your head to the sky. You can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. You can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. You can win, yes, as long as you keep your head to the sky. You can win, yes, as long as you keep your head to the sky. Be optimistic. Gotta be optimistic. Gotta be optimistic. Gotta be optimistic. Gotta be optimistic.
What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Good morning, Open Heart, and welcome to our Heartstream Live celebration for this Sunday, June the 13th, 2021. I want to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for your continued support, your prayers, your energy, your good intentions, all of what you use to make this Heartstream Live a reality. I mentioned last week that we are in the process of examining what will happen in terms of reopening. And I'm going to announce very soon a community conversation that we will have via Zoom. Yeah, I know a lot of people have Zoom fatigue. I hear that, and I've had sometimes as many as 5 Zoom meetings in a day. So I really understand that. But we're going to have an opportunity to come together in a virtual way and talk about how we move forward, what we will look like as a spiritual center and a spiritual community in the days and weeks and months to come. And so you will hear from me very soon about when all of that will take place. Their logistics, we're still working out with various things. But I know that there are more and more ways in which our communities are opening back up, and there are already many communities and churches and congregations, synagogues, temples, or whatever gatherings that are coming together in person. And we are going to do what we can do, keep you safe, keep you feeling safe, and accommodate as much as we can our thoughts and our wishes and our beliefs about what it is that we should do. So look for that. It will be very soon that you will hear about all of this. Let's take a moment and turn within. It is in this moment, knowing that God is all there is, that I give thanks for this day. Knowing that because God is all there is, that God is expressing right here and right now in this moment, this day that I declare and call very good. Call it very good. And I know that for each of us, this is yet another opportunity to stand in this day, to stand in this moment fully aware of the goodness of God, the goodness of this day, of what a joy it is to be able to breathe and to live and to have our being in God, what it is to be able to move around even in all that we do. There might be those challenges that some of us face in one way or another, but ultimately the joy that we bring to this day, the awareness that we bring to this day, the gratitude that we bring to this day, that all is well. It is a good day. And moving forward in this Heartstream Live, it continues to be that. In all that takes place this morning, all that is broadcast and streamed live from the heart here and now, that it touches all who see it, all who even come to contact with people who may not have seen it themselves, but because we are experiencing this moment here and now, that energy, that vibration, that power resonates and reverberates in such a way that it touches and it transforms and it uplifts and it motivates and it inspires. I give thanks for this awareness now, for this understanding now. I'm grateful for all who have participated to make this Heartstream a reality. I give thanks for this day as I release my word into the creative medium. It's already done in the mind of God. It is, and so it is. I greet you. I bless you. I see God in you. Our purpose statement. Our purpose is to create a spiritual community which recognizes that there is one presence and one power in the universe, God. Daily, we actively practice this spiritual truth. We open our heart space to each person to acknowledge one another as expressions of God. It is in each other that we see God.
Jazz June. Well, 5 Sundays, so I hope you've enjoyed all of them. Thank you so much. So today, I just wanted to give you, I should say, a scenario of the musicians in our communities across the world. You know, most of us do the music because we want to do the music, because we feel inclined to do the music. Not for many more reasons than that. To start off with just the fact that we have to do it. So, as you travel this summer and throughout the year, you will see musicians on the streets, in the malls, just almost anywhere. Subways in New York. So this morning, I am the musician in the subway of New York. Once again, I've done that. On the streets of New Orleans, I've done that. I'll keep doing that when I visit these places. And this morning, I'm here at your feet at Open Heart. So this is an example of what you might see or hear as you see our musicians across the world as you travel. So, thank you.
Living by faith. By faith, I align with truth, so that the invisible manifests in visible form. What I'm hoping for becomes what I'm giving thanks for.
Good morning, Open Heart family. I hope everyone's doing well. I will be reading from the Tao Te Ching. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give up everything. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient master said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself.
Good morning. These are your announcements. From the very beginning of Open Heart, I was clear that we would be intentional about being an inclusive community. June is Pride Month. We unhesitatingly and wholeheartedly support our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, and queer friends, their rights, their marriages, their pursuit of happiness, and their breath. This is also true July through May.
Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
At Open Heart, we believe in the power of affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, a treatment for those who are on our prayer list and beyond. A power is in you right now in this instant waiting to be released into the creative action, which is your natural birthright, whether it's your own health, your relations with other people, or your own work. All the love there is in the world is in you and around you at this instant. It is waiting only for the release that comes through your active awareness of it. All the health there is in the world is yours at this instant. It is waiting only for the revelation of the perfect person covered by the ailing person. All the riches you need in the world are yours at this instant. They await only your acceptance. The creative drive you have always had is now in action. It is calling and waiting for you to let it out into the world, to let it shine before a world that will receive you with love, warmth, and joy, since you and the creation are one, inseparable and eternal. And so it is. How do you meditate? What is mindfulness? These questions and more are being discussed in our virtual book study led by Villa Willis, our assistant spiritual director and minister. This group meets each second Thursday of the month. The book they're using is The Headspace Guide to Meditation and Mindfulness by Andy Puddicombe. Thank you, Sydney, for your affirmative reading for today. I want to say something about Sydney. Sydney had made the commitment early in the week to get an affirmative reading in, and she's on vacation now. But she took the time out of being out on the beach in the sun and fun with her friends and family and to record the affirmative reading. And yes, you too can. You don't have to be on vacation, but you can record your own affirmative reading and email it to me. I look forward to it. Our daily affirmative prayer call takes place each and every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. Dial in as one of our prayer team members shares an inspirational reading and then prays for you, all in about 7 minutes. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater flow. Thank you for all of the support that you provide for us through your conscious giving. You can do so through a number of methods. We have our Cash App. You can use our cash tag OHSC901 to donate. You can also go online to our website at ohsc901.com and make your contribution there. Or you can do the text to give by texting the word give to 615-422-4292. Thank you for all of the ways in which you support Open Heart. Thank you for your financial gifts.
I
Let the sound of the tone bring your attention to this place that we may center, reset, and refocus as we prepare to hear the message. And so it is.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Last week I talked about faith as being the substance of things hoped for, or how the unformed substance of the universe, out of which all things are created, the process by which we can, through our faith, through our understanding of this process, through our connection with God, bring these things forth. And today I'd like to talk about the evidence of things not seen. I remember many years ago, here I was, my son in the 7th grade. He has a science project that is due the next day. And I discovered that the project has not been completed in the way that I thought that it would be. He doesn't have the progress that I thought he would have. So now it's time for Dad to step in and help him with the project, to do the things that we could so we can get the project finished and he would have it done for tomorrow. And so here we are, and with the project, pulling all the things together. The object of this particular science fair project was to show how changing the form and the shape of things would change the dynamics and the behavior of it. And in this case, what we were doing was something that was very simple. We were taking a ball of clay, taking a bowl of water, and seeing whether if the ball of clay would float. We take the ball of clay, we put it in the water. Of course, it sinks down to the bottom. And so the idea of the experiment is that when we shape it into the form that resembles a boat hole, then it would float. And so we go and we write up the project and we do all of the things that are necessary to show that we've done the process, we come to the conclusion, all of the steps in the science fair project were done. Go to sleep that night. And suddenly in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. or so, I'd sit straight up in my bed and I realized that while we had done the clay, a ball of clay dropping in the water, and not taking the time to shape the clay into a boat hole to see if it would actually float. So here I am thinking that this had not been demonstrated. It had not really been tested. So I go downstairs and I go over to the dining room table where the project was. I take the clay, I start to shape it and start to mold it, and I put it in the water and it sinks. I try it again and I put it in the water and it sinks. And it takes me several times to do the things, make the necessary adjustments, and all of the things I need to do, thinning the clay out and moving it around and doing all of that in order for it finally to float. And as I thought about that, I thought about the fact how it was easy to want to jump to the end and declare the results without actually really putting them to the test, without actually really seeing that this is the way and the manner in which it worked. And so as I look at that, if you remember last week, one of the things that I said is there is no such thing as undemonstrated understanding. Ernest Holmes says that he would rather have students of this science, students of this understanding or this philosophy or this way of life that demonstrate and put into practice the principles than all of the words of wisdom that were ever spoken. In other words, it's very easy to get caught up when we start talking about the science of mind, new thought, all the words that point to thinking and point to that. But it's more than just that. It's about demonstration. I'm going old school when talking about demonstration. Demonstration means bringing things into manifestation. It means proving things, not just saying affirmations that just sound good and making phrases that sound good, but actually getting results from the kinds of things that we believe, putting our faith into action, using it for everyday living, using it in the circumstances and situations that present themselves in our lives. Use them. For what good is it to have these things and to know these things if we don't put them into practice? I mentioned many weeks ago the fact that one of my teachers posed this question in the class I was taking, said, is your default metaphysical? Is your default way of looking at life metaphysical? And if it isn't, why isn't it? Why aren't you and I using these principles in the way that we approach life and understand that? There is no such thing as undemonstrated understanding. And as we get these principles in mind, as we not only get them in mind, but we get them in heart and embody as we continue to learn them, but not only to learn them, but to put them to work, to practice them, because it becomes very easy. It's in that science project to go about saying this is going to be the result without ever actually proving the result, without ever actually putting it into place. The evidence of things not seen. In this world, in this universe, there is the unformed substance. There is that we find things that are created out of. And there is also God, Creator, the universe, love, intelligence, the force behind all things that continues to do what it does. It continues to create. It continues to bring forth. It continues to make manifestation possible. And we are a part of that. We are connected to that. And as we understand this, as we move about in this way, then we are able to bring forth that evidence of things unseen. We are able to demonstrate God. We are able to be God in the way that we are the presence of God in our lives, the presence of God in our situations and circumstances. When I say that, I know some people get a little nervous about being God and don't understand that. But what I'm saying is that you and I are expressions of God, unique and individualized in every way. And as we understand this, then we come forth in our own way with our own creativity, with our own understanding, with our own abilities, with our own ways of doing things, living life to its fullest, having that abundant life that the master teacher Jesus talks about when he says, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. When we apply these principles, it's not about just spouting words and saying affirmations and phrases, things that sound good, but it's about application. It's about being aware that as we apply these things, as we know the creative process, as we know this, that things come forth. It's about recognizing again, and I'm going through some steps that are part of how when we do affirmative prayer, that outline for me the way this process takes place. We know that God is all there is. We affirm that God is all there is, that in this there is one presence and one power in the universe, and that presence and power is God. It expresses in and through and as each and every one of us. And that's how in the second step that we align ourselves with that. We know that what is true about God is also true about ourselves. That God is perfect health. That God is understanding. That God is creativity. That God is compassion. That God is all of these things. And so is the same claim. I claim the same thing for myself. And in this awareness, I understand that. Then I also move into the place where I begin denying anything that is not God, where I understand that things that are out there that are happening, they happen, and as they happen, the power that I give to them controls and determines how they affect my life. When I can stand in a place and things are happening and situations are happening and people are saying things and people are doing things, I could choose to either buy into it and take a hold of it and get caught up in that, or I can stand in my truth and to say that that's not my reality, and not in a way that ignores all the things that are happening, but say it in such a way that I know what the truth is about this. I know what is happening in this moment, and I stand in this truth. So I know that God is all there is. I know that I'm aligned with God. I am one with God. God is expressing in, through, and as me. I know that in the midst of all things that I many times give power to, that they don't have truth in them. They only have the truth or the power that I give to them. And when I understand this and fully grasp this, I make a change. I find myself in a place, in a space where things are happening for me in the manner in which I wish, in the intentions in which I set, which is the next stage. As I set my intention and I begin to visualize and see those things happening in my life, I become aware of them. I apply what we call the mental equivalent. In other words, I see beyond what the ordinary eye can see. I understand beyond what the mind can see, the human mind. I begin to understand and to know in this process that there is something greater. There is something that is pulling me to full expression, something that is calling me to step out and to understand in this moment just how powerful and magnificent that I am. And in knowing this, I set my intentions for each and every day. Don't just get up in the morning and find that whatever happens, I respond to it and the day is willy-nilly. But I get up in the morning and I take the time and make the time to set my intention for the day, the conversations that I plan to have with other people that day, the kinds of tasks that I plan to get done that day, the things that I want to happen and to come into my life that day that are a part of a greater expression of life. Understanding this, I move about in the realization stage, and I understand that as I do all of these things, as I put these principles into practice, that then they're going to come forth. And as they come forth, then I have a sense of thanksgiving, a sense of gratitude. Even before it happens, I know that it's already done in the mind of God. I don't have to make it happen. I make it welcome. So with open arms, with arms of gratitude, with arms of expectation, with arms of understanding and anticipation, knowing that it's going to happen, I do this. And as I do that, I give thanks for it. And then I release it all. I let it go. I don't go around worrying about, well, I said I was going to do this and I said this was going to happen and I wonder if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. Remember the scenario about the seed, the soil, and the plant, that we plant the seed. We place it into the ground and we allow that unseen substance, that unseen energy, that unseen power go to work upon the seed. But we don't dig the seed up after placing it in the ground to see if it's working. We put it there. We trust. That's faith, the evidence of things not seen. And as we do so, then we know that the plant comes forth. So I release my word into the creative medium, that process, that place in which it all happens, that place in which it all comes into being. And then the manifestation that comes forth in life, the awareness now that I am moving and living and having my being in God. And so many things are happening for me and for you. I claim this for you in this moment as I talk about this today, moving forth in this world. I like what Tagore says in defining faith, that faith is the bird that fills the light when the dawn is dark and begins singing. It's taking this understanding and this awareness for me in this moment to know that despite what might be happening around, I know that light is. I know that the light is coming. And like that bird began to sing, even while it might appear dark in the world, while it might appear that there are politics that are more concerned about profit than about people, I sing. Understanding that I can sing in the midst of situations or circumstances that will deny people because of either the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or their social economic background or any other kinds of ways that use to divide us. I understand that in the midst of this, that there is light that is coming in the midst of all of this. So even before as a parent, I begin singing for a better day. I began singing for a better day of understanding that despite sickness and disease and all of those things that happen for us, that in the midst of it all, that there is perfect health and healing. And there are ways in which each of us can move through the challenges, the physical challenges we have with these bodies and all of that. So I sing in the midst of this. I sing in the midst of anything that will tell me that I am less than who I am, that will try to deny me of my divinity, that will try to deny me of the perfect understanding of who I am. I sing in the midst of that, understanding who it is that I am. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. I sing because I know that I can come out of darkness into the marvelous light. I sing because I have this awareness and this understanding that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's how we move about in life. It's how we go forward and have things happen for us. They don't just happen, they happen just because we apply this awareness, we apply this understanding, we put it into practice every day. Wake up in the morning with it. Situations come, we apply it. Circumstances come, we declare the truth. We stand in the truth. We hold firm in the truth, and we allow it to come forth. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so it is.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm
Thank you, everybody.